Greetings, my friends. This is Maerlande, returning to you with some more Spectacle of Perspicuity after a significant break. Turn number 36. It's quite a quiet turn, not a great deal happening. I made peace with Helheim. It's a temporary measure. He doesn't know that, but he probably has a good feeling for it. So let's have a look. My research. I'm continuing a balanced process. Nothing very special here. A little bit more site searching. There were some fights, so I'm going to watch some of these fights and see what my opponents are pulling off. The Batmanian foothills. We have a fight between Tianqi and Helheim. So we could see here that Tianqi is working with a werewolf and some wolves. So that's the Call of the Wild spell. He may have cast it this turn. It looked like the fight was occurring in magic phase, or he may have cast it the previous turn and that fellow was hiding somewhere and then came popping out. Looks like not quite enough wolves for the cast. It should come with 20 generally, but we'll watch the fight. I don't think it's going to go at all well. Yes, Helheim's large hordes of vampires terrorized poor Tianqi's attack. So enough of that. Let's have a look at the plane of burning bats. Helheim counterattacked Tianqi, taking territory back or counter-raiding. We'll see what Helheim's using. If we pause momentarily, we'll zoom in, have a look. He's using a Vanjarl with no gear, but I'm sure he's going to buff. And I pretty much guarantee you it's going to be Blessing and Mist for him. He may buff with a couple others, but that's nice because it keeps his fatigue nice and low. 17 is not a problem for your fighting fatigue. And we'll see how the fight develops. I think, yeah, that's a tiny bit of province defense, so it's going to be a very short fight. Enough of that. City of Goons. Okay, I took back a province. It was part of the peace agreement with Helheim. Simple enough fight. I'm just going to be dealing with a little bit of province defense. And I wanted that territory because it's worth serious gold. Gold is already becoming a problem. The awesome wastelands. All I did was clear the top of my fort. You can have a look here. See? Nothing much to that. Simple. Dark Cave of Gandalf. Helheim is attacking Sati. So let's see what those two have brought to the table. Zoom in and we see. Aha! So Helheim has a leftover ghoul commander from one of his remote death spells, Arouse Hunger, and a few Dustwalkers. Powerful troops. It's just a tiny group. Basically a simple raid, and they're going to annihilate those poor, hapless province defense of Sati. Dark Plains of Religion. Sati is counterattacking or raiding ahead. I think he's running around with some powerful stuff. Oh, I see. Nothing but some basic militia, but he happened to have bad luck and hit a group of vampires. It's going to be short, sweet, and not very pleasant for poor Sati. Let's speed things up. Hit the fast forward. Yeah, first squad routed, and I think second squad routed. So that was that. In the Bay of Butt Pirates, I beat up some independents. Now this should be a small reverse communion. So we'll pause and we'll have a quick look and watch the casting. So here we go. Communion slave. So from the top down in the army setup, I want my slaves to cast slave. Communion slave, blessing, power of the spheres. Okay. So, over here, this should be the master. Here he is. He's got a crystal matrix, which means he begins the turn, or the combat, as a communion master. He had one pearl, so he cast power of the spheres, and that buffs all of the slaves by +1. And because it's a relatively inexpensive spell, the slave fatigue is very manageable. So let's watch some more. The slaves are just casting, I believe I set them to Communion Slave and cast whatever spells they feel like. That's fine with me. One of them cast Light of the Northern Star, you can see here. That boosts all Astro Wizards by 1, and, well, these are independents, so really, I didn't particularly need this mini Communion. These poor Kraken, terrible magic resistance, more or less had no hope whatsoever of dealing with my Gibidai and Mind Blasting. But I was kind of hoping to enslave a few. Looks like no such love. We saw already, I'm going to quit this. We saw already from the results that they were all killed. And I'm patrolling for gold, and one of my scouts was caught by patrollers. I was trying to patrol his capital, and probably this guy's on retreat, but I see vampires, so no hope. So this is a pretty short overview. You can see that there's Smay running around. Sati has a few of those, I'm not sure how many. Helheim's using his vampires and his recruitable thugs of various strengths and flavors. Helheim's got some vampires and unfrozen, and a few clay men, and some corpse constructs. So he's building some things probably just to hold up walls, the corpse constructs, maybe the clay men, or take walls down. But vampires seem to be his core. That's quite a lot of vampires. So somewhere he's blood hunting, and it's tricky to find, but hopefully all this raiding is going to knock the stuffing out of that blood hunting. However, if we look at the statistics, Helheim is still in a clear lead, and I'm sitting, well, roughly where I was before. +1 province overall with the peace agreement. Nothing too major. But I have a good income, and it'll go up with some more patrolling and overtax. I'm great on forts. My gem income is nice and solid. My research is in the toilet, but I know there's a solution to that coming. Dominion's very solid, and of course my army size is monstrous, and it'll build back up. So that's it for turn number 36. Have a good one, my friends. I hope to see you in game.